Good afternoon and welcome to our 13th town hall with the CEO. But this one will probably be like no other for the simple fact that one of our guests will, I'm for sure, make it be like no other that we've had. But we have two other guests, though, who will pull up the rear and make us look really good today. So I'm really happy about all three guests that we have to talk about our BB&B event that's coming up on September the 12th. And all of our guest panelists today have been heavily involved in it. Their families have been heavily involved in it, their spouses. I can say that since Ala, who's one of our guests, just got married to Patrick, who's also been a big supporter of the BB&B. So kind of giving you a hint at one of our guests, but we have three spectacular people. Um, Ala Salsa, who I'll just talk about really quickly, is when I first met her, I was like, wow, who is this lady with all this energy? But then when I started to get to know her and how she's just a proponent of details, she's all about details and having things be the best that they can be. And she's been in the fundraising business for 20 years, and I call her a fundraising guru. I call her a producer guru because she not only puts the events together, but I've seen her work with talent and musicians and actually act like a producer of a music show at the same time as she's doing for an auction. So I'm happy to have Ala here with us. She's been a huge part of the success of BB&B over the years. And Ala, it's with everything going on, with all the balls in the air that you juggle, I'm just happy that you're working with us again this year and going to help us to have another great event. This will be different, which you'll talk about later, but I know already we've already are at the success rate that I expected, or pace, I should say, success pace that we're on that I expected from you because I know how you are. And, I just thank you for coming on today to talk about BB&B. Our next guest and panelist is Natalie Rava. Her and Jerry have just been huge supporters of not only the BB&B, but the First Tee overall. And not only in the Salinas area, but also in the South County area, and have given us the support and backup that we need to be successful countywide. A lot of people are successful in their local areas, right in their immediate cities, but the First Tee has been successful because of people like Natalie and Jerry in South County and making us successful in the whole county as opposed to a city because of their efforts and their contacts and the way that they push us and the way that they connect us to people down in South County to help us be very successful. And Natalie, has had 20 years in the accounting and finance business, and she's been such an asset to our organization, not only giving us time as a donor and a contributor and supporter, but also as a financial accountant when she's had to jump in and help her staff, help us through some tough moments that turned out to be great moments for us. And so, Natalie, I just thank you for what you do over and beyond the call of duty for the First Tee and the Future Citizens Foundation. Um, the last person is a board member of the Future Citizens Foundation. He's a board member of a lot of nonprofits and raises a lot of money for them. But Robin Baggett has been a big part of BB&B since the beginning. And we'll talk about his famous barbecue later, but he's been a huge part of the success that the Future Citizens Foundation has had. Big supporter, close friends, of course, with David Gill, a Cal Poly great. We'll talk about that a little bit later too. But more importantly, someone who just pushes us to go from good to great, and that's what we have to do to be able to reach the 15 to 20,000 students that we would like to reach. We are currently reaching 10,000 youth a year, but we have big aspirations to reach about 15 to 20,000 youth, which means that we'll up the service, Natalie, that we'll be having in South County and King City and Greenfield in those areas. So I'm just happy to have all three of you all. I'm not going to chatter much on about how successful and great you all are because you all are. We have a superstar panel, very busy people, but they've taken time out of their schedules. Nelly just got off a plane actually to be with us. So, people, that's how important this organization is to the people that we serve. So I'm going to let us get started right away. And I'm going to ask the first question. And this is, to all of you all, when and how did BB&B get started? Because my aunt sent that message in on Saturday to me when she heard about the discussion that we're going to have today. I'll leave it up to you. You want to jump on it first, Ala?
Well, Robin and I sat in the first meeting in Susan and David Gill's kitchen back in Carmel. Do you remember that, Robin?
Yes.
It was the first time that Robin and I got to be in a room together. I think the first time we met and the first time that we went toe to toe on what we thought was going to really work. And it was absolutely amazing because the event was supposed to be a fundraiser. People didn't know about, it was just the first tee at that point, and our community didn't know about what was going on. And there was this talk about how do we introduce people, how do we get people on campus, and it snowballed from there. That's my recollection of it, Robin.
Well, that's mine too. I mean, it's kind of growing on raising money down at Cal Poly, and then moving up to Napa and starting working with the Napa Vintners Association, who raise millions of dollars annually. Learned a lot, and I just shared. The BB&B has been very successful in doing that. We started, I forget what we made the first year, but every year we exceeded the prior year, and we continue to do that. I hope we can do it again this year, even with COVID. But we learned a lot together, and All is a great organizer and presenter and putting it together, I think, and doing it out at the facility in Salinas, I think has always been great, where people can actually see what's going on. It's just tremendous what we've done. You mentioned the 10,000 kids that we're keeping, out of mischief. I'll just use that term. It's just tremendous what we've done and been able to accomplish. And the Pay It Forward program that we've grown into now with the scholarship programs at Cal State Monterey Bay is just amazing. I hear we have a summa cum laude graduate, 4.0, straight A's, and then before that at high school she was a little over a 3.0, and it's just what you give people a chance, and look what happens, and we're creating opportunities for all these young kids, and that's what's given back. I was born and raised in Salinas, so to me this is dear to my heart, and what we're accomplishing is pretty special.
Natalie, what about when you heard about this and, getting, I'm going to say South County involved, just because I know the impact that you have down there, you and Jerry. What made you all, outside of David and Susan, I would say, really jump on this and support it and really spread it? Because we get a lot of people coming from South County for the event.
Well, again, I remember that first year, and if I recall, the event was 4 Bs back then.
Yes.
Yeah, it started out, and that was, again, we just drummed up a lot of participation from South County. A lot of that had to do with David and Susan really talking up the event, which was the first year we didn't really know what to expect. And South County is just such a close community, and if they can get behind a project that's going to benefit the community and the kids in that community, then they're 100% behind it. And we've kind of just been that way from the beginning. It's been a great event, and I think what makes it great is that it is out at the campus. It's not at some hotel or convention center. It's at the campus, and everyone can walk around and see what's going on and walk through the classrooms and see the improvements that have been made. That makes a huge, huge difference to people.
Well, Robin, I'll answer your first question. You said you don't remember what you all did that year. You did $197,000 that first year. And last year you did $613,000. So yeah, the strides are being made year to year.
Hey, Robin, do you remember what our goal was that first year?
No, I can't. What was it all?
50,000.
Every year we've exceeded our goal.
Yep,
Yeah,
we thought if we can fill 50 tables at $1,000 a piece, that'll be great. And then all of a sudden, a live auction happened spontaneously. The Massas donated a trip to Vegas in their jet, and then there was some wine and something else, and people just needed to hear about the program, and the floodgates were open, and that was the moment where we knew that all we have to do is tell the story. And Robin's barbecue, obviously. Yeah, we tell the story, we feed them amazing barbecue, and the generosity of the community is incredible. But yeah, $50,000, we would have been excited to hit that goal that year.
Yeah, and being a rookie to the event, my first one, I was just so amazed at just how the people, just it's like a big family, to say the least. It's like having a family reunion almost, and the way the people are enjoying themselves and bouncing from table to table and walking all around. And that's on the outside. That's not even on the inside of the event because we have a big, huge tent that's just marvelously transformed to some beautiful place where you feel like you're in a nice hotel, Natalie, somewhere. But it's transformed into a beautiful setting on the inside. I felt like I was at Alice in Wonderland last year, and it just made me thank so much that the people that we work with and the professionalism that they put in, staff and the time and Alice's direction, how she transformed it into, it's like walking into your dream home. Said, I want, and then that you don't expect people to quite hit what you're dreaming. Well, she hit what I was dreaming, and that's when I knew that wow, we're just going to keep growing from there. Jacob, do you want to give our panelists the first question?
Our first question: what excites you the most about the Boots, Bottles, and Barbecue event?
Natalie, you want to take that one first?
Sure. Wow. How many years has it been? Ala, did you say has it
9.
This will be
9
9.
now?
Mm-hmm.
This will be 9. Yeah, I may have missed one during all those years being out of town, but otherwise, I really look forward to this event. Like you said, Bill, it's a family. You see so many great people. It's in a great location. It's outside. We're walking around. The food, the barbecue, and really, it's got the best live auction of almost any event that I've ever gone to. It's just there's so much. Sometimes it goes off the rails a bit, but that just adds to the fun. The live auction is a show unto itself, and that really, it again it's going for such a great cause. And I have to say, I love hearing when the students speak. It's very humbling, and it really just puts a face to what we're trying to do and raise money for.
Yeah, that live auction part, I call it the David and Steve train wreck. And they turn the train wreck, but they always successfully gets us to the destination, and that's the most important part. But it's a little scary.
Train wreck. It's like just a huge unscripted live show, Bill. You never know what's gonna happen. They never fall off the stage.
I call it a train wreck because I never know what you're gonna do next. And you're back there trying to keep them on script, and they keep going off script. I call that a train wreck. But like I said, we get to the destination safely, so that's all that matters. Robin, what's your most exciting part?
well, it's the barbecue part, which I enjoy. For example, last year we cooked some steamships, which are the rear quarter of a steer. They weigh about 60 pounds each. We cooked a couple of them, but those take a lot of time. I mean, about 10, 12 hours. So I brought my bedroll and parked it right by the smokers, got some sleep in, but started about one in the evening, I think it was, and it
Yeah, it
turned
was
out
1 o'clock
okay.
because they called me and said Robin is on his way. He's about 30 minutes out. And when I got that call, it was like 12:30. So I was
Yeah,
like, oh boy, really?
yeah. Got the fire going, got it going, put them on, and crawled into that bedroll and woke up about every 2 or 3 hours just to make sure the fire's still going. But it was I enjoy barbecuing. Again, it's almost like give me an excuse to do a cooking, and I'll do it. And it's we talk about barbecue. It's not going out with your gas grill and cooking. Well, this is real barbecue from the South. This is the real deal. We cooked many years. We cooked whole hogs, and that went over well. We did 4 whole hogs one year, and we probably should do that again. And when we get back, that'd probably be the next one we should do.
That's my
We get some
favorite.
hogs out there. People really enjoyed picking at those things.
Yeah, I think Gabriella's got a picture of that cooking of that barbecue, because I came by at 7 in the morning and you were still back there cooking, and your only request was to get you a TV so you could watch the college football games about to come on.
That's right.
Oh,
There
There
he
it
is,
is. Yeah, that's a good one. Look at
cooking his
I
famous
scooped up. That's what you had to
barbecue.
throw away. That one got a little dirty.
And he took the lid off. He said, "Bill, take a whiff of this." I thought he was gonna give me a piece, but he didn't. But nah, he said it wasn't quite done yet.
Wasn't
But
quite
yeah,
done
so the barbecue is a big hit. All I heard about when I first got there was, "Oh, you're gonna get some of Robin's barbecue," and I was like, "Really? Really? Yeah, you'll get some of Robin's barbecue." And I was like, "Oh, I'm looking forward to it." But then when I saw the operation, I knew what they meant. So with that, Ala, what's your favorite part?
So, the buildup is my favorite part. I usually arrive, the day beforehand as the tents are going up, and everyone at Future Citizens Foundation is pitching in, and we're, doing extra cleanup on the grounds and unloading rentals and putting together flowers and taking inventory of all this wine, and it's just this buzz. And then, we get into Saturday and we start setting the tables and putting the flowers out, and it becomes very pretty. But we easily, book about 10 miles on our pedometers as we're doing the setup, going back and forth from the Taylor Center for Learning into the tent and into the clubhouse. And then there's like this little moment before the first guest arrive. And I always, my heart always kind of stops and goes, "Oh my God, what if nobody comes?" Even though I know they're coming, but it's just that moment. And then suddenly the cars just start coming and the buses start coming and the limos pull into the parking lot and people arrive, and you go from, everyone coming and being amazed at what it looks like to now people are eating and enjoying this amazing wine. Robin has had wine from all 3 of his amazing wineries in the past. We've got this amazing wine support. And then we go into the tent and it's like a hum, it just keeps building and building and building. And then we roll our video of our kids and it becomes momentarily silent and everyone focuses on why we're really there. And that moment is like, I take my first breath. And then I have a different feeling about David, Gil, and Steve John taking the mic, and Hunter Elkins, who has been our volunteer auctioneer for many, many years. I trust them implicitly. They don't listen to anything that I tell them, but I trust them to get the basic gist out there, and they just do it. And then suddenly, you go from people arriving to the hum to the silence, sort of in reverence to these kids who are changing their lives and the people who are making it happen, to auction paddle, auction paddle, auction paddle, and it goes. And that whole, it's the momentum, it's the movement that is my favorite part of the event.
Well, a couple of my favorite parts were just watching people be so gratuitous about the auction part, and those donating after bidding on an auction item and donating it back. I mean, I'm not used to people, bidding $12,000 or $15,000 and then saying, "Okay, no, I want to put it back in the pot." So hey, just take my 12 or 15,000. That really brought a tear to my eye when I just saw several people do that. I thought that was just unbelievable. It just goes, that it's a special group of people. I just can't even say it. I've worked in a lot of cities, big cities, Miami, worked in Charlotte and a couple other places, and I just have never seen what I see when I see our people come together. It's a unique experience. And maybe it's a Bay Area experience, but it's definitely, a Monterey County experience, because it's just unique to see how people respond to help young people. So, Jacob, next question. We need to get to them. Time is flying. I see it now.
Why is this event important to you? Why have you been sponsors and participants at this event?
Robin, you want to take that first? Why have you
Well,
sponsored and why is it
I
important?
kind of answered it before. I mean, being born and raised in Salinas, I mean, my grandparents, I remember my grandmother, went to the First Baptist Church on California Street, and she always used to remind me, Robin, it's better to give than receive. I heard that like once a week. And so that was kind of ingrained in my upbringing. And any chance I have to give back to a community, and especially a community that I was born and raised in, I'll do that. So that's really the minute David asked me to be on the board and get involved, it's hard to say no to David. So it's just a real honor to be involved, and I'm just so proud of what we've been able to accomplish over these last 9 years, or we're on the year 9.
Yep.
Amazing on this. And
Mhm.
it's just warms your heart to be able to do it. I'll add one thing, and I mentioned it to Bill earlier, that just today, the Napa Vintners Association in Napa, obviously, where I'm chair of the board, made a donation of $1 million to do a scholarship program modeled after the Pay It Forward. When they investigated what we accomplished over the last 13 years on the Pay It Forward scholarship program, they wanted to be involved because in the wine industry, we're lacking of diversity. And of course, all that's going on right now, it was in a way a no-brainer. When they found this program that we started, they modeled it after and donated $1 million today to it,
Wow.
and they'll do more. It's kind of amazing. So that's
Well,
something to really be proud of. That Pay It Forward program is a model that is going to continue through other programs, through other universities for different programs. This one is wine related. We're trying to get more people in the wine industry. The Pay It Forward is first generation graduates or first generation college students. And what we have an 82% graduation rate, where the national average for first generation students is in the teens. It's around 13 or 14%. We're 82%, which is amazing.
It's unbelievable, and it's just a compliment to the Pay It Forward program, the work that Jessica Baker puts into the Pay It Forward program. Um, um, it's just amazing that someone would come and emulate it and invest $1 million in emulating it. That says a lot, you know. So
That's a compliment.
I'm really
That's the ultimate
really
compliment. It's the ultimate. $1 million because you have a great program. We want to copy it.
yeah. Uh, Natalie.
Um, I think what's important for me, being an accountant, I'm always looking at the numbers, and to kind of, tack on to what Robin just said. When you look at the numbers on the percentages of the kids that this program helps, the various programs, when you look at how much money the events raise and how much of that money goes straight to those programs, you look at the cost benefit factor, and I run all these numbers through my head, and it's really amazing, that how much of what is raised goes straight into these programs. It's amazing the impact that it has, and the number of kids that go through this program, and it grows every year, and that's great to see. You don't see that with a lot of organizations, and this one really, the numbers, you guys stand behind them, and I appreciate that as a donor and as an accountant.
Yeah, well, once again, hats off to Nick Nelson and Gabriela Chavez and what they do and growing the programs together because they work as a team. And Jessica Abbey,
Yeah.
they all put they're relentless about the time and hours that they put in to make us look very, very good, make me look very, very good now, because they constantly amaze me. When I think they can't do any more, they come back and do something else special. So, my hats off to what they do, what the rest of the staff does, the frontline people do, to make them look good too. So, it's truly a team effort, and We don't have, people who are slouches on our staff. Everybody puts in more time than they should. And we're working on now trying to get everybody to kind of relax and actually take vacations and do things because they are passionate about what we do. And they'll run themselves and, into the ground to make sure that we don't miss a child. Because every day, our saying is every day we don't win a child, we lose a child. So every day we're trying to work as hard as we can to win a child. So I think those numbers are reflective in that, Natalie, that you're talking about. Ala?
I'll answer the question about why I continue to stay on as a sponsor and why I look forward to being involved every year. And it's because of our leadership. I've always said that anything that David and Susan Gill are involved with, I don't ask any questions. I want to be there. I trust them implicitly. And then you have this amazing board. And then, Bill, with you at the helm as CEO, when you look at a leadership team like that, you know that the effort that you give to the organization is going to go to the kids. It's going to go to the right place. And for me, as a donor and as a participant in what we do here, I'm so grateful that I can trust the decision makers to get my resources where they need to go.
Thank you for the compliment. Yeah, we have a saying on our board, and that we all mean it. It's all about the kids. And I've never seen a group of people, all of us, from staff to board members, who actually mean that. We truly mean it's all about the kids. And
Right.
we'll put that before any self-interest or anything else. We're definitely going to always put the kids first. And we remind each other of that when anybody gets out of that line, they're quickly reminded it's all about the kids. And then those conversations, we come to a meeting in the minds very quickly and get whatever we're working on done because we realize it is all about the kids. So, Jacob, the next question.
What do you want the audience members to know about BB&B?
Ala.
Well, you know what, because we only have so much time, I want for everybody to know so many things, but I'm gonna focus just on our virtual event this year. And what I want for people to know is that our sponsors have stayed by us this year as we have had to go virtual because of the pandemic. Our committee, our leadership, our volunteer team said, yeah, we absolutely have to do this and we have to do it well. And we made a decision as a team to not just try to like do this little, Zoom thing and say hi and say thank you, but like to really make it cool, to really make it different. We are bringing amazing barbecue. It's not Robin's barbecue, which sort of breaks my heart, but we're going to bring amazing barbecue from the King City Young Farmers out to all of our sponsors. We're bringing amazing wines to our sponsors. I mean, Robin is shipping AO wines for our tasting. We're bringing some goodies and some gifts. We have an amazing lineup of celebrities for entertainment and to give some really cool shout outs to our sponsors. We have a really cool lineup of fun. We have people who are getting together in, small groups of, 4 or 8 or 10 outside to enjoy barbecue and to watch the BBB together. I am so excited by our version of virtual. And for the sponsors that weren't quite sure what we were going to do when we told them about it, how excited they were. So yeah, I want for people to know, like, we're really doing it. This is not a quick log on and here are some photos of past events. Like this is going to be really fun. It's going to be amazing. We won't get to hug each other the way that we normally do, but we're going to do everything in our power to bring the fun to people's homes and offices and computer screens.
Yeah, I call it the Cliff Note version of the Jerry Lewis telethon. You know how they pop from city to city? We're going to be popping from house to house. So that should be a lot of fun. Robin?
Yeah.
Well, I'll just add to it. Exactly. I love it just by getting together and camaraderie, seeing old friends. I mean, every year I find somebody I went to grammar school with that shows up at the event. Unfortunately, we won't have that this year. But the main thing I want to say, it's still our purpose is to raise money for the kids. either through sponsorship or some of the great auction lots that we put together. And that's what it's all about. And I know we're going to be successful because everybody's got the right heart. They're all givers and they know it's a great cause. And so, yeah, we can't forget about what our real purpose is, besides having fun, is to raise money for the kids.
Natalie?
Yeah, wow. Well, Alla has me really excited now for the virtual version of this event, which I look forward to every year. I agree. It's a great event. And again, I mean, it is a fundraiser, and now we can fundraise from the safety and comfort of our own homes. So, you know, how great is that? And we can still enjoy some great food and wine and not lose sight of, you know, what the event is there for, and continue to raise a fantastic amount of money that is well spent on the community.
And you know, I am just so amazed at the energy that the people brought to the table because, you know, the first thing I did was, as all the CEOs of nonprofits probably across the country did, was, you know, like, oh boy, what are we going to do? You know, but after that first committee meeting, I felt confident that we would come up with something great. And then the second committee meeting, we actually did come up with something great. It was going to be challenging, you know, but this group believes in doing challenging things anyway. But it was going to be challenging, and when we started putting, you know, dotting the I's and crossing the T's about it, it started to come to life, you know. And it's in Isla's push that she always has, you know, gave us the oxygen we needed so that now we're hopping around. We're not just crawling around. So it should be really, really nice. I think that we're going to learn a lot. It's new. So when anything new, you have your ups and downs and your little hiccups. But the energy and the passion that our sponsors have continued to show is unbelievable. You know, because there's no tangible, like, direct networking that you would get like you would get at our normal BB&B, where you get to see people, you get to say hi, you get to talk a little business, you also get to have a little fun, tell a few jokes. Well, you know, it's going to be where now we just going to drop in each other's homes and say hello and see different groups, and the people who are watching from, you know, the virtual reality side of the audience will be able just to see those interactions. So to see the passion that people still are having is just a testimony to the commitment that the people in this community have for doing the right thing. So, Jacob, next question.
Will there be an auction this year?
Ala.
Will there be an auction this year? Of course, there's going to be an auction
You
this
don't know
year.
Alla very well. Yes.
But so here's the really cool thing, though, is that we are optimistic that we have such an amazing level of support from our donors and the people who have come to know us and love us over the last 8 years. And not only that, but we have absolute faith that our donors and our supporters maybe still have a little bit of that competitive nature, even when they're not all in a tent together. So we're going to put our auction out about 10 days prior to the event, and we'll have a minimum bid for each of the auction items. Those haven't been set yet. We will have bid increments for each of the auction items, and our supporters are going to have a chance to put their bids in, and we will let them know when they are outbid. And then the really cool thing is that we're going to add a new element this year, which is going to be called the Buy It Now. So that means that if you're feeling particularly competitive and particularly generous, but you don't want to deal with the back and forth of Alla emailing you or calling you 4 times that you've been outbid, you can just buy the package at the Buy It Now price, and you automatically win. You know, you pass go, you collect $200, you get your prize, we mark it sold. So our hope is that by the time that we get to September 12th and we're launching the BBB and we're opening our amazing wines and sorting through our sponsor baskets, that the auction packages are going to be sold. So you're definitely not going to want to hang out and wait and see how it goes this year, because you're going to miss out.
Yeah, I just want to add, I mean, all has already had some experience with one virtual with the Hartnell College Foundation that did very well. And I want to share I didn't get a chance to talk to you, but just on Saturday night, was involved in the V Foundation, and their goal was to raise 2 million. They ended up getting 3.6. And what really put it over the top was the fund in need, where they had very few auction lots. I think they only had 6 or 8, a small amount. And we don't have that many. What are we going to do? 14 or 15, maybe?
I think 12. 12 is the
12,
magic
okay,
number.
so smaller.
Yeah.
But that funded need, people got into it, and they just kept, okay, I'll give more. Someone would call in and give 10 grand, and then they find out someone else gave some, and they go, I'll give another 10. And they got it all the way up to 3.6. It was
Wow.
amazing. So I think we'll have a lot of fun with that part of it after for those who don't get to purchase an auction lot, that funded need, I think, will do pretty well this year. Tonight, we're doing a similar one. I'll report back for the AIM group. That's mental health for youth here in the Pebble Beach area, Monterey
Great cause.
County. Yeah, so that's tonight at 5. You guys, it's free. Just tune in. AIM. You can bid and buy stuff tonight if you want. So another
That's
good charity auction, but they're working. That's the point. It works, even though we can't get together and do it live, which we'd rather do, obviously. But it's working.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can now do it, the fact that we're doing it, like Natalie said, safely and in consideration of making sure that everybody's safe and that we still are going to have fun with it. Jacob.
We have a question from our audience, and is can we share what the auction packages are for this year?
We can share a sneak peek. And Robin and I actually had a chance to just speak this morning. I don't have Robin's package available quite yet, but I can tell you that like the little bit that we can share now is just a little taster, and then there's some more amazing packages coming down the pipeline. So I absolutely think we should do a preview, get people excited.
Well, the one we talked about today, I'll add. It's okay. It's going to be the only negative part of it is you have to spend time with me and my wife Michelle. But no, Michelle's cool. I'm not as cool as she is. But
Nah,
it's 3 days,
don't
2
put
nights,
Michelle.
VIP
Don't
in
put
Napa Valley.
Michelle. Don't put Michelle as part of the negative part. You can just
Oh,
talk that to yourself.
that.
Michelle is what
You
gets us
know,
back to being positive.
my wife's name's been turned into a verb. It's called to be Michelle, and it's the late parties. I go to bed about 9:30 or 10, but if you want to be Michelle, you just stay up with her. So,
That's awesome.
anyway, especially in the hot tub. But
so
yeah,
Robin, do you want to tell
3
people
days,
what
2
the package
nights,
is?
huh?
Tell people what the package is.
Well, it's basically what David Gill has secured a plane. Who's donating the plane? Do we know? Maybe we don't know. He's probably twisted somebody's arm, and they'll fly him up from Salinas or Monterey to Napa,
Yeah.
and then we'll provide all the transportation once you get to Napa. We provide lodging, meals, everything. You don't have to think, and I'll take you to all of course, Alpha Omega. I'll barbecue for you one night, and then we'll take you to the finest restaurants in Napa. And other family-owned wineries. All my buddies will go visit all our friendly family-owned wineries, not the corporate types, and it'll just be a great time. You're going to see how we professionals live in Napa Valley. If you can keep up, kudos to you.
That's
I
awesome.
thought we had a photo of that area too. I don't know if we do or not. I'm asking a lot of a crew that's not normally an IT group, and everybody thinks we don't have an IT group. Our IT group has been our staff people who have lent their expertise, their novice expertise in this area. So when I ask for stuff, I'm feeling like a little bit like, Phil Donahue. I'm dating myself with my age, but I'm feeling a little bit like Phil Donahue when I said bring up a slide. But I think we had a picture of that, but maybe we'll have it later. But
Well,
it's
and
really
I can
beautiful.
tell you, Bill, Robin and Michelle have been so generous since year 2 when we decided to actually have an auction and plan ahead for an auction. Every year there are multiple auction packages put together by Robin and Michelle for Future Citizens Foundation, and every year they're spectacular. They're some of our hottest auction packages, so we are just ecstatic to be the beneficiaries of the Napa experience, and the people that have gone before have raved about their experience. So Robin, you can't be all bad. I mean, some of the hanging out with you must be fun.
Even if you want to play a little game of horseshoes, I'll take you on. Oh, don't
So
do that one.
yeah, so we have a cool little preview. This package is really cool. It's the Giant Suite for 12. We're gonna get you up to the game, and then it's the game itself is gonna be awesome, but you get to enjoy it with David Gill and Nate Holiday doing a tailgate for you. And I think for everyone in the Salinas Valley that knows Nate Holiday, knows that he is the Giants' #1 biggest fan. I don't care what anybody else says. He is the Giants' #1 biggest fan, and so to be able to tailgate with him and his passion for the game and his passion for the Giants, it's a really awesome package.
I got one we can add to that because I played baseball with Mike Krukow. I don't know if you guys know that, but I taught him how to pitch. He was nothing until I got a hold of him. And
Nothing.
anyway, he's the announcer, and I'll get him come down to the suite and say hi to everybody if they want to chat with him. So we can even add that. I'll talk to Mike about it, but he loves doing that.
That is awesome. That is really amazing.
Now I see that Mike Weiner Screaming Eagle. I see that jumped up on the screen here. I got excited because I thought about Jerry Rava when he brought this last year. Didn't Jerry get this last year, Natalie? I think you and Jerry got this Screaming Eagle last year because I remember you all opening it and actually pouring it. And I
Wait,
thought about if
Jerry
I
Rava,
spent
Jerry and Natalie outbid Susan? Is that
no,
true?
we had 2 flights of it.
That's
Jerry,
that's that's a different lot, Bill.
well, it was
That's
Screaming Eagle.
Yeah, but it's Screaming Eagle the flight, because thanks to Michael and Bobby Weiner, for years now, we have been the beneficiaries of several lots of Screaming Eagle. They have, I think Mike and Bobby turn over their membership wine to us every year as a donation. And so
Wow.
we don't have just one lot, we have 2 lots and sometimes 3. So we are, I think, America's premier source of Screaming Eagle outside of the winery itself. That's my sense.
Well, I was
So
watching TV one night and I learned about Screaming Eagle. I was at a hotel and I just cut on the TV because it was late and they were talking about Screaming Eagle. And I said, I finally understand what Screaming Eagle is all about. No wonder everybody acts crazy about it.
yeah,
But I
and
just remember Jerry opening up the bottle and pouring it, and Susan opening up the bottle and pouring it.
yeah.
And where I come from as a kid, I was like, "There's no way I'm opening up a bottle of wine that costs that much money. There's no
I
way.
think
It's
$20,000
gonna sit for about 15
is what
years."
Uh,
But that's once again, it's a special group of people sharing with friends and like a big family reunion. And some people would never get to taste that type of wine at that type of cost. That's once, hats off to Jerry and Susan and them for, letting people sample it, and that was great.
Well, and the best thing is David Gill, is he's auctioneering, yelling at Susan to save him a sip. I don't think she ever has. Natalie, did David finally get some of yours and Jerry's last year?
I think we were able to all enjoy a little bit, but yeah, Susan loves to pour that stuff. And when you're in the company of such great friends and it's for a great cause, there's no better place to open a bottle of great wine. You got to do it when you have the opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, I just sit back there amazed. I just think about how much that is per sip. I was going, wow, that's enough to take the normal wine drinker for a whole year. So, but anyhow, I saw the Marion golf trip, beautiful.
Robin, again, you
Yeah.
and Michelle, do you want to talk about this? I can't
Well,
possibly do
I've
justice.
been lucky enough to become a member there. I've been a member for 20 years. Marion is one of the cathedrals of golf. I think Golf Digest has it ranked number 6 or 5. It just goes back and forth with Oakmont, and it's just a special place on earth. They recently, it was last year, they put it back. They redid the whole, not redesigned it, but put it back in basic its original state with sophisticated underground irrigation, et cetera. So you can't really tell on top other than it's built the same way it was back in the early 1900s. Underground though, it's state of the art. They really spent a lot of money doing it. Now, what's missing on this is after those rounds, only for medicinal purposes, we have a lot of wine and we sit out on the first tee at Marion and enjoy it. It'll be a lot of Alpha Mega, Tolosa, and our Spanish wine Paranet. And
Nice,
I
nice.
usually ship in two or three cases. Last year I shipped in, I think, 4 or 5. They couldn't keep up. These guys couldn't drink it all. I had to get, but it's cool. I gave it to staff. They loved it.
So part of the requirement for winning this package is that you have to be able to keep up with Robin Baggett on the golf course and drinking ale wines. Very nice. Yeah, that's awesome.
And the food's great too.
Yeah, okay, that is so cool. So this package is a repeat from last year. We could have kept selling it over and over and over again. So we brought it back again. This is going to be for the summer of 2021. Lisa and Steve John are building a spectacular new home, and they are going to host a party. And what's really cool about this one is that it is a set price per couple. So we will have, I think it's 6 couples. There's going to be one price, and the name of the game with this one is to be one of the first 6 to put your hand up in the air, and then that's it. It's sold out. So this is again one where you don't want to wait. We could have sold a dozen of the spots for 2 last year. I think we're supposed to sell 5 couples. We pushed it up to 6 couples because Steve gets, excited, and it's Steve and
Steve was being Steve. I saw Lisa's face go when he kept pushing it up. I was like,
yeah. I asked Steve if Lisa knew that they were donating this package again this year, and he goes, yeah, she wouldn't expect anything else. So I think she's fully on board. She knows how it works. She also loves future citizens, and so this is going to be an amazing package. And again, when we release all the information about the auction, there'll be 6 spots at a set price. There's no bidding. Just grab it the moment you see it.
well, I promised you all, and oh man, I gotta stop on this one, and then we go to the last question. Go ahead, talk a little bit
Well,
about the Eagles guitar. I
I mean,
love this thing.
I almost feel like Natalie should talk about this one because we had an autographed Eagles guitar, I want to say like on year 3 or year 4. It might have been the year that you missed, Natalie. And somehow Jerry managed to still get the proxy bid in there. And that guitar should be hanging proudly somewhere in your house. And we now have another one. It's pretty amazing.
We do have a few autographed guitars hanging around. Yes, Jerry likes. I mean, this is what I mean. This auction has just such incredible items. It's not your everyday run of the mill. They are just incredible. The sponsors and the board members have such great connections. It amazes me the places that they can take you and the items that they can put out there for people to bid on. They're just incredible, and they're really the memories that you have from these auction items and the experience. It's just worth every penny to raise money for this cause.
And it's just a great group too. I mean, if you're gonna have a guitar by a group of people, having one by the Eagles is not that bad, And I thank Bob Perry Smith, for donating this. He loves the first tee. He lives and breathes the first tee. And so Bob Perry Smith donated the guitar, and Clark Stroh followed up with him, and made it happen. And so, I'm thankful for Clark. Clark still has that guitar too in his house. So we better make sure we get it back from Clark. He's got it hanging up in his house right now. He's
Yeah,
enjoying it.
we won't hand over the barbecue and the wine until we get the guitar. It'll be like a
Be an even exchange, sort of. But yeah, once again, I just thank Bob Perry Smith for that, him just donating that guitar to us with that. Well, we're going to take one more question because each one of our panelists all have meetings to race right into, and they got about 12 minutes. So this will be the last question, and we'll be wrapping it up. And we'll let 100 or so people who always watch this show afterwards get to see it too, because we actually get the videotape to them. We have a major donor who's on show number 9. So he's working his way up the charts. He calls me every time he finishes one.
that's
So
awesome.
Jacob, last question for our guests so they can get to their meetings on time.
What one message, task, or action do you want the sponsors and potential sponsors to leave with today? And how does one get a ticket to the event?
Ala, do you want to kick it off with that?
Sure. So the event this year, interestingly, is more exclusive. You would think that being a virtual event, we would just open it up. But in fact, we've made a decision that this is going to be something really special just for sponsors. So the way to get a ticket to the event is to be a sponsor or to bid or at least start the bidding going on one of our auction packages or to make a Fund the Need donation pre-event. And only those folks that have shown their commitment right out of the gate are going to get the very exclusive access to the virtual BBB. And the one thing that I want to tell sponsors is don't miss it. Don't, it's not like a town hall where you can watch the recording later on and it's going to feel, similar. You want to be a part of it, block your time. We're still playing with the time a little bit, but I think because of the amazing wine tasting that we're going to do as part of the event, we're going to probably run from 5 to 7 as opposed to an hour and a half. I think we're going to go a little longer because there's more wine than we expected. But you're going to love it. And, for our sponsors of 5,000 and 10,000, listen for the cool, celebrity shout out for your sponsorship and your name. You never know who Toby Keith is going to be thanking, during the virtual BBB. So don't dismiss it as a, little online thing this year. I promise that you're not going to be disappointed.
I got four words: bid often and bid high.
That's it. I like those words.
Yeah.
Natalie, you want to end it on something for us?
I would just say that, if you can make the event, definitely make it. If you've done it before, keep doing it. If this is your first year, yes, it's a little unconventional, but I think it's going to go down in the record books. And again, look at how much this organization does for the community and for the kids. To have this one organization, local organization impact so many thousands of kids. It's really unbelievable. So, this is a great event that's been going on now for 9 years. It's had a huge impact, and I really, really hope that everyone can come out and support it again this year and just keep it going.
Thank you. And Ala, the only other way they can actually be a part of the festivities is to be at one of those people who are hosting it at your house. And I know
That's
the
right.
people who are inviting people to come to their house for it, they're expecting them to bid on items. So, that's the only other way you can get in. So either way, you're going to have to be able to cough up some money and be a part of this. But it's very, very exclusive this year. And I was telling one of the principals that, he was like, oh, we enjoyed it so much and we like to be there. And I was like, oh, I hope you know somebody because it's even more exclusive because of the pandemic this year. But we'll be back strong in 2021. But this is going to be such a great event, so much fun. I thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your busy schedules. I know your schedules. I know how busy you all are. And for you all to take this time just shows how important the organization is to you. So I thank you all. This video will be shared with hundreds of other people, and we'll give them an opportunity to be a part and ask questions and catch up with you all. Many of them know you all, and many of them were here actually listening in today. So thanks again. I appreciate your time. Have a safe weekend and get some rest, because I know how much all of you all are busy, you all, except for Robin. Robin's probably about to crack open a bottle of wine right now. You know, nah, he's
In a
actually
few minutes, yes, I was just told I got 30 minutes to get to the event.
well,
Awesome.
Robin, thank you for so much what you do for not only our area but the whole Bay Area. You bounce around a lot, and you're with a lot of groups and raising a lot of money, and we appreciate you, because we need every nonprofit to be successful. We're not a silo. We want kids to be served wherever they are, and when the work that you all do for the number of nonprofits that you do it for, it allows kids to have a better life. So I thank you all for that. Have a great weekend, and thanks again. Bye bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Great job, everyone.